Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. I hope you enjoy. I miss fighting the humans, written by Credible333. I miss fighting the humans. If you're anything like us, Zevib, you will too. Once the coming war is over. Duv claimed it was true, but it wasn't the whole truth, as befits an ambassador to the FUV. After all, they had the largest fleet in the galaxy, outmassing the Zevib fleet 20 times over, with a combined engine/weaponry power output 5 times greater. Lying to them might be considered an insult worthy of attack, and telling them the truth only gave them an advantage they didn't earn and didn't need. Duv had, due to an accident of Zevib evolution, quite enjoyed parts of fighting the humans. Why did you stop then? My understanding is that you had destroyed most of the human fleet. You fought the V, Psi, and the Independent Worlds League, who've all had larger fleets, larger armies, and more political support in the Assembly. Well, budgetary constraints came into play for one thing. Also, at the time, there were indications some of our subjugated races might revolt, and much of our military power was needed to prevent it. Again, this was true. In fact, it was amazing that he had to explain it to the FUV brilliant advisor. Even a cursory examination of the conflict would have told him that yes, the war had been extremely costly. If the position of the brilliant advisor hadn't been hereditary, he'd have assumed the question was a veiled insult. But no, this guy genuinely didn't know. The FUV, particularly their nobility, didn't generally inquire about the habits, economy, or history of other races. They had emerged first and had grabbed a series of rich worlds before the humans, Zevib, V, or anyone else had even escaped their own planet. The sheer amount of resources they acquired immunized them from needing to take other races into account. To some extent, they researched Species 7 because it could feel the military in the same weight class. Nobody else counted. It must be hard living within such constraints. We FUV, of course, could lose fleets equal to your entire navy and replace them within months. There is also no chance of our slaves rebelling, unlike yours. Actually, after the war we abandoned slavery. The races are not entirely free, but they have some liberties. Keep much of their production and generally far better. After which war? As I understand it, you have 2 wars ongoing now. Yes. With the V and the IWO again. But when the Zevib say the war, it always means the war with the humans. The other species, well, look, Zevib evolution was heavily influenced by highly selective mating. Yes, well, I hardly wish to discuss that, nor do I see how it is relevant to fighting humans, or whatever objection you have to our battle policy. Rest assured, your esteemed brilliance, I have no objection whatsoever to you killing all the humans you capture, but it might be more efficient instead to simply sell them to us. So you want to have slaves again? I understand. Not exactly. You see, the humans did something we hadn't seen in previous wars, not even those with ourselves. They surrendered and then attempted to escape. Previously, opponents either fought to the death or just gave up once captured. The humans seem to think of captivity as just another part of war. They constructed tunnels, fake transportation orders, disguises that made them look like other species. Once I offered a Cymar a stimstick, and when it refused, its breath hit my wrist, and I went, "Wait, that's hot air, Cymar, you're cold-blooded." Every day was a constant battle just to keep them out of our trading ships to neutral worlds. So, why don't you just kill them? Well, for a start, they would have killed our prisoners. Secondly, and this is the real reason for my proposal, we loved chasing them. This was an actual lie. It was not the main reason, not even close. Certainly would have given his right front arm to chase humans again. However, it was. We loved checking their batteries every night to find traces of whatever scheme they were cooking up, and there was always one. There's a reason Human Hunters was the top-rated show for 11 years. It was like a game of 5 kings, but against a rival that spent all day thinking about how to get his queen to the end. I was the top retrieval expert, and I can tell you, the ladies loved it. Nothing proves your genes more than matching brain, imagination, and physical prowess with a human and winning. Lately, I've had not much success with getting extra females. This again was true. Duve had settled down with Law and hadn't mated with anyone else since the end of the war. So, you want us to risk death capturing the humans alive, just so that you can mate? If you don't take a human prisoner, they'll fight to the death. Believe me, you don't want that. Plus, the military information they have will be more valuable to us than you. Again, Duve was telling the truth. After this war is finished, you won't have to fight the humans. The destruction will be complete. Duve clenched his jaw as hard as he could to stop the short barks his species used as laughter. Now, his brilliance was telling the truth. As our price are willing to pick them erical rates of 5 ms per light year. Yes, but since that is combat zone, we'll be using fast armored transports. Their sensors will have to be fully deployed. That would mean that we'd be scanning your ships, since we aren't the threat to the FUV. Yet, he mentally added, I assume that's not a problem. Agreed. One more thing. I've heard the humans might be using something called the Letters of Marquis. It's basically legalized piracy against your civilian transport ships. The aim will be to divert resources from the main fight. I recommend you get the Assembly to vote it an unacceptable tactic. Thank you. We will remember your actions if there are problems between us in the future. Later, they did remember that Who warned them of the tactic, then voted to allow it in the Assembly. If the FUV had bothered to study the Zevip psychology, they'd start to wonder if the humans had even considered the tactic before the Assembly mentioned it. The fact that the first privateer attacks didn't happen for almost a month after it was brought up would answer that question. It doesn't take a human a whole month to exploit a weakness. 5 years later, the same brilliant advisor came to Zuv with an ultimatum. You will stop scanning our ships with your prisoner transports. Will we? You will provide full sensor information about the privateers that seem to slip through your territory like it wasn't there. Will we? You will provide all information the human prisoners gave you about our military operations, procedure, equipment, and tactics. Will we? Stop saying will we. You will. Our fleet outpowers yours by 6-1, and we outpower the human fleet by 3-1. There is no doubt about the end of this war. This is an ultimatum. Aiding the humans will only make you our next target. We were always your next target, but you didn't outpower the humans by 3-1. It was 3.2-1 a month ago, but that's before you lost the Tier 6 dreadnoughts. I remember the day we lost 3 Tier 5 S's in the afternoon. Hurts, doesn't it? Oh, we've been deploying low-powered versions of our ships. They actually have twice the power you think they do. But why would you do that? You've lost battles. Yes. That's what happens when you fight a challenging opponent. Sometimes you lose. You prefer opponents that aren't challenging, because you want to be sure of dominance at all times. Because you were sure of your dominance, you didn't bother to ask about the peculiarity of Zevip evolution. You see, our females sexually select on the basis of our success against dangerous predators. That has caused male Zevip to evolve a distinct desire for a challenge. But not just any challenge, potentially lethal ones. Of course, fighting the humans was too big a challenge even for us. You are not like us. You wouldn't climb a mountain just for the thrill of not falling off. Of course, that is not the only reason we downpower our ships. We wanted to deceive you about our true power. We needed experience in battles that weren't cakewalks, and of course, we needed the IWL and V to not panic and convert to full war economies. Now that the deception is over, we'll be destroying their main fleets in the next battle, which is starting as we speak. Well, we handicapped ourselves. This war was challenging. It won't be now. This is why you attack us. You'll find that we are more than a challenge. Please. You actually think of having a 3-1 power advantage over humans means you'll win. You have nowhere near the adaptability, technically or tactically, to make that work. Right now, you couldn't beat us or the humans, but you could still be a source of entertainment. I wanted you to personally witness the message I send the humans. And to your government, Zuv opened up the Instastall Universal Channel. To all it may concern, the Fav have just presented an ultimatum which I, on behalf of the Zeva Primary Council, have rejected. We are in a state of war with the Fav Empire, or the Conglomerate, or whatever they call it. To the humans fighting the Zuv, I understand 15 years is not enough time to heal the wounds we inflicted. But let me just say this one thing. Last one to the Fav homeworld is a rotten egg. End of story. I would quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and Patreons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lord Azrakal, It's Difficult to Pronounce, Dragzoon WRE, Holly's Sister, Arcadian. Thank you very much.